Our first guest tonight is a talented actress you know from her work in films such as Sin City, Fantastic Four, and Trigger Warning, which is available now on Netflix. The second season of her show, Honest Renovations, begins streaming on the Roku channel on August 23rd. Let's take a look.
Whoop, whoop. We've been friends for years, and we've really bonded over our love of design.
Boom. We're good at coming in and giving you things that you don't even know you need.
Demo day.
That means we get to tear it up.
With a little design help, this is a game changer.
We can not only change homes. The cloud is moving. I can see the light. Damn, that's deep.
We can change their lives.
Oh, what? My God.
Please welcome to the show, Jessica Alba, everybody.
Venus de Milo, Monday night. Venus de Milo, Monday night. Venus de Milo, Monday night. Venus de Milo.
Hi, I'm so happy you're here.
I'm so happy to be here.
So I have a question for you. When I watch any renovation show, I get choked up when people see the new houses. Is this a trick of editing, or when you're there, is it also emotional?
Cry.
You cry every time?
Cry every single time. But the camera's always on the families, of course, because
Yes.
that's the money shot. And meanwhile, Lizzie and I are like weeping in the corner.
Is this something that before you made your own renovation show that was also how you were affected when you saw?
Yes,
Yeah.
I even cry when I watch commercials.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so this is the worst. Ever since I had kids, they opened up my heart. I didn't know I was so cold-hearted and locked up prior to, but I suppose I was.
Yeah.
Literally, my son loves monster trucks. I don't know. He's like genetically
Sure, I get it.
engineered to love cars and tires and all the things. So we went to Monster Jam, and when the main guy like won the race, Cash and I are like holding hands crying. Like when the guy won Monster Jam, because his dad was like the most senior monster truck driver, and
It would be so. I feel like they should have put you on the jumbotron to be like, "We have the first people who've ever cried at a monster truck rally."
Like, oh my God, that was so touching.
I will tell you, even makeovers make me cry. I like guest hosted one week on with Kelly Ripa, and it was like makeover week, and every single one. Because I will say, I went into it, I'm like, makeovers aren't for me. And then every single time a person came out in new clothes with a new haircut, I was like,
Just like, it's so like wholesome and tender, and it's just like, I think we get to see the best of humanity, and that's what we really bring out in the show.
one of the really cool things about this show is when the kids see their new living quarters.
know.
And it's really awesome. You realize, like, they get as excited about a new thing as anybody
Oh
else.
my, even more. Like
Yeah.
they're jumping all around. They're like, is it really ours? Like,
Are you ever like, yes, but it's new, so stop jumping?
no, we're like, it's yours. Like they're even afraid to sit on the bed or to like, they're like, is this really mine? It's really sweet. It's
Your
like the
your
best.
co-host, who we saw, Lizzie, you have been friends for a long time.
We have.
Whose idea was it to do a renovation show?
So it was sort of both of ours. We renovated a bunch of spaces during the pandemic. We were going, we both have 3 kids and husbands, and they were sort of, driving us up the wall. So we decided to create a production company and create content together. So we just like started renovating spaces, and we did my parents'
It's
house.
amazing how ambitious people get in order to stay away from their husbands
Pretty
and children.
much. Like, we were literally reminiscing. She was like, we would stay at that house till 9 p.m.
Oh.
And I was like, 100% for days at a time.
Yeah.
But, we were,
It
remember
paid
that
off.
time? It paid
It
off.
paid off.
We came up with a show. It was her idea for it to be centered around families. And I really wanted you to laugh and cry during the show.
You're with the family from basically when they are packing up to leave the home.
We meet them, first day we meet them, we kind of know all about them because of course they have to do the interview and we make sure they're right, all that stuff. But we meet them and then we basically pack them up and move them out that day.
Do you feel like you would have an emotional connection to a lot of the things in your home? Because that's very interesting to watch. Like what people want to keep.
Everybody is attached to stuff.
Yeah.
Like people are like, but wait, this, table or this desk I had, and they think of all the memories and everything.
And as the person who's renovating, you're like, oh, that desk is gone.
Oh yeah, I'm like,
You're
got
never
3 legs.
gonna see this desk
I'm like,
again.
it's being propped up by books. You're like, let it go. People have such a hard time.
But do you
letting
think
go.
you would? Like, hypothetically, if you had to, do you think you would have irrational connections to things?
My husband says that I am kind of a hoarder, even though I'm not. He's like, just because it's organized doesn't make you less of a hoarder.
Oh, that's
And I'm
good.
like,
My
but
wife's very
everything
organized, but
has a
also a hoarder.
place.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, is that a thing?
I think so, yeah.
I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. So yeah, that might be me.
That's good. I'm glad you came to this realization with
and
us.
right now,
You're
in
like,
this
I'm not a
moment,
hoarder, and then you're like, I am a hoarder.
Maybe I have a lot of the same thing.
You just took all three children on vacation.
Yes.
How are you? Does it fall on you? Because it certainly is an unfair burden that falls on my wife to pack everybody. Are you the packer?
I'm the pack, yeah. And my husband's like, I am stressed, and I was like, every time I'm like, I'm never gonna do this again. And he's like, you don't have to. Like, they're old enough. Like, but they don't pack the right stuff.
Right.
And then we're stuck. Like last year, when we were on vacation, my son had no underwear, no chonies at all. They were gone. I was like, where did they go? No socks, no underwear. So I was like, how can they just disappear in the room?
Yeah.
So this year, I had this really dumb idea because we did this show, and it's all about, putting things away for the winter season and, bringing in your stuff. So I was like, those packing bags that you get from Amazon that you like suck the air out of, and they have the hand pump. I was like, we should pack all our clothes for that. So 2 bags maximum. We're going to 3 different countries. There's 3 different climates. So we have to use those to compact everything. Terrible idea.
What happened?
Well, because you have to deflate, open up, everything's wrinkled. So my kids just look like the most wrinkled children. Everywhere we go, they kind of look like a hot mess. And then you have to pack it back all in and suck all the stuff out. It's
really, they say the best way to see Italy is in your hotel room where you're like,
just sucking out all the, I was so irritated.
all right, well, that is a good cautionary tale.
Don't do that.
I should note as well, to show the scope of your range, Trigger Warning, which is on Netflix right now, you play sort of a special ops badass, and it's very different from the incredibly nice person who gives people better kitchen access.
But I feel like Parker's nice, and I think you want her on your side.
Yes.
If said domestic terrorists are in your town, call on Parker. She will make sure they will get what they need.
This is so nice because people like this never do like commercials on local television, but that would be great if you're like, hey, I'm a special forces person.
Special
If there's ever
domestic terrorism.
if you ever something in your
call
town,
your
I'm
girl.
available.
I use knives, so it's all good.
Congratulations on both the film and the show, and thanks so
Oh,
much for being
thank
here. It's so
you.
delightful to have you. You guys, that's Jessica Alba. The second season of Honest Renovations begins streaming on the Roku channel on August 23rd. And Trigger Warning is available now on Netflix. Stick around. We'll be right back with a news.